In the news this week, Islamophobia reaches new heights after the Paris terrorist attacks.
The David versus Goliath battle continues as the Applecross community fights against McDonald's.
And history in the making as WAMN News launches its new current affairs program.
This is the Evening News with Ivan Lung and Daniel Stanislav.
Good evening. The level of Islamophobia has spiked dramatically in Australia and around the world after the horrific terrorist attacks in Paris. Meanwhile, experts suggest the media might be responsible for negatively portraying the Muslim community. Cecilia Faustina reports.
Experts suggest media may be a key role in creating biased perceptions and Islamophobia. The recent terrorist attack in Paris had led to 129 deaths, with the suspected ringleader killed recently during a police raid. No Room for Racism WA's representative said Islamophobia had been increasing since the Paris coverage, having experienced acts of racism herself as a Muslim.
And I don't react immediately. When it sinks in, though, the kind of things that people have done or said, or just the actions that they show, it then starts feeling a little bit intense.
Meanwhile, experts also felt that the Paris coverage may assist with Islamophobia and biased thinking, as the media leans more towards a Western viewpoint.
What has occurred, however, is that whilst there's been a great degree of media attention to this particular atrocity, we haven't seen quite as much in regards to other similar acts that have occurred also.
The public, however, had mixed views about the issue.
Well, extreme events cause extreme reaction, so I think basically they bring out the latent attitudes that are already there.
People will think, oh, any Islam, people who's an Islam, they will be like them, terrorists. They're dangerous, like they can kill us.
Cecilia Faustina, WAMN News.
Applecross residents have gathered this weekend to say "I'm not loving it" to McDonald's. The community continues to stand against the fast food giant's plan to relocate the restaurant as a legal battle continues.
Still defiant, still not loving it.
No Maccas, no Maccas, no Maccas.
Applecross residents staging a final protest against McDonald's plans to build a 24-hour two-storey restaurant next to their homes on Reynolds Road.
My primary concern, I suppose, are safety of our children and also quiet enjoyment.
The fast food giant has appealed to the State Administrative Tribunal after their proposal was unanimously rejected by the state government. Residents aren't happy about the fast food chain's plans to build the restaurant in a residential area.
We did make a response to the DAP, and that response was that we didn't believe it should go ahead.
Applecross's community is worried the restaurant's new features, including a two-lane drive-through, will negatively impact the local area.
We have concerns about the level of traffic that will be turned into the local community as a result of not being able to do a right turn out.
The No to McDonald's Facebook group has gathered major community support to stop McDonald's from building a restaurant next to Applecross homes. The protest is the last bid to prevent the construction before the final tribunal hearing. If McDonald's wins the appeal, residents won't be able to challenge the decision. The hearing will be held from the 25th to the 27th next week. Nelson Liu, WAMN News.
Anti-Islamic group Reclaim Australia has held demonstrations across capital cities around the country. It's the third time the rally has hit the streets of Perth. Meanwhile, counter-demonstrators have gathered at Solidarity Park, accusing the nationalists of demonising Muslims in Australia. Hundreds of people turned up in Perth CBD as both camps stated their views.
That are standing up for anti-racism, for justice, for refugees, for Aboriginal people, for Muslims, for people of colour. They're the ones that are actually promoting violence and extremism.
We're not racist. We welcome everyone. What we do not accept is the ideology of Islam, that you either convert or we kill you.
Another anti-Roe 8 rally has been held in Bibra Lake as local residents expressed their concerns over the highway's impact on the Billia wetlands. The community has demanded the federal and state government reverse the decision to construct Roe 8. The Perth Freight Link is expected to cost taxpayers at least $1.6 billion.
Well, it's a clear message to both the federal and state government that the people of this region here in Coburn, East Fremantle, Kwinana are saying for this federal and state governments to stop, step back and start to look properly at all the possible options, including the outer harbour.
The Malian siege has ended after the majority of hostages were released without harm. At least 3 people have been killed during the siege after Islamic gunmen burst into a hotel and opened fire throughout the building. It's reported some hostages were freed after reciting verses from the Quran. Special forces later stormed the hotel, freeing hostages.
North and South Korea government officials will be holding high-level talks this week after a hostile military standoff in August. North Korean officials plan to meet South Korean delegates at a village near the border in a proposal accepted by the Unification Ministry. The talks will focus on improving diplomatic relations between both countries to avoid further tension in the region.
And on Newsnight this week from Canberra, Associate Professor Nick O'Brien, head of the Australian Graduate School of Policing and Security, discussed France's response to the Paris terror attacks and Australia's anti-terror capabilities. Join Blake Danielczak every Thursday from 5 p.m. for Newsnight on Yas FM. And those are the stories you need to know this week. We have the latest news on our website.
Thanks for your company. Here's Nelson Liu with Western Perspective.
Thanks, Ivan and Danielle. Hello, I'm Nelson Liu and welcome to our very first edition of Western Perspective. Tonight, owning a home has always been the great Australian dream, but rising house prices and unchanging income levels have made buying a home difficult for young people to afford.